Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. This is episode 331, Fun Time. And the music this week is with Si'Yir. Hope we got that right. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. We have the voice lady of sports talk, the one and only. That's right, live. She ain't no figment of your imagination. The one and only Antoinette Cheryl Smith. We got Goddess Kelli, a.k.a. the Diva of sports debate. She bring the diva. She bring the sexy back to sports talk. Now, check out the music this week on Shout Out. As I said, we are featuring performance from Si'Yir Royale. Will she find her shining star or get the cold feel of Goddess Kelly's mute button? First lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the Spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard have flapped their wings and flew right into the arms of the Los Angeles Lakers. The Toronto Raptors. Wow. San Antonio may have gotten a sweet deal. DeMar DeRozan, Jacob Polito, and the 2019 protected first-round draft pick. Is Kawhi really what Toronto needed to get past Philadelphia and the Celtics? Was this a great move by San Antonio, keeping Kawhi out of Los Angeles and out of the Western Conference? Did the Lakers miss out on a player combined with LeBron who could have them leapfrogged them over the Houston Rockets? Yaxina Argowin, Tanya Knight, Amanda Latona, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, the Kawhi saga is hopefully over. He wanted to go to the Lakers, but once again, the Lakers refused to give up several of their young players to obtain a superstar. Last year, it was Paul George, and we know the outcome of that decision. For the Lakers' sake, Kawhi will be a man of his word and sign with the Lakers after next season. In the meantime, the Toronto Raptors, they really surprised the NBA, and they surprised them by giving up their best player, DeMar DeRozan, for a possible one-year rental. It's similar to the OKC did last year with Paul George. No one expected them to make a trade. They just came in and swooped and got Paul George, and this is what happened with Toronto Raptors. Nobody was talking about the Toronto Raptors. It was about Philadelphia. It was about the Lakers and some other teams. The Boston Celtics was through their pitch in there. But it was the Toronto Raptors that pulled off this trade. Now, the question is Kawhi going to report? That's what everybody's saying, that he's not going to report. But let me tell you, after Friday's Toronto news conference and the pictures that were released that showed Kawhi and Messiah Ujiri, that's a hard name to pronounce. It's a hard African name to pronounce. They showed them together in Toronto. So I believe it's safe to say Kawhi will definitely report to the team this fall. And I think Toronto is pushed ahead of the 76ers. I think they're the number 2 team in the East because I still believe they're behind the Celtics. I'm really not high on the Sixers this season because they've lost a lot of their three-point shooters around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Now, if they can get Kyle Korver, that's another story. But right now, as the team stands, they have very limited three-point shooter other than J.J. Redick. And Kawhi, he is definitely a difference maker. He's like LeBron James. He does make a difference on the team. As far as I'm concerned, Kawhi is the number 1 two-way player in the league. And, you just knew Popovich was not sending Kawhi to the Lakers. that wasn't going to happen unless the Lakers agree to their ransom. I mean, yes, and I say a ransom because the Spurs, they wanted all of the Lakers' young players and draft picks. So you knew that deal wasn't going to get done. Definitely not wasn't going to get done. And as far as San Antonio was concerned, you know, it would have been best for Kawhi to go to the East. As a matter of fact, they just shipped him out of the whole United States. They shipped him to another country. But the Lakers, time will tell because LeBron has the ability to
Are you trying to say that the Spurs did a better job than Ice? and Kawhi is a citizen.
Well, he got exiled out of the country. But anyway, yes. So, the time will tell whether or not the Lakers did the right thing. Because, LeBron has the ability to play for several years. But there's one thing that's in question about LeBron's play. He has never played in the Western Conference, and the competition is completely different. And it's not like the East. The East is easy. He played a lot of teams that he could take days off. But it's not going to be like that in the Western Conference. His competition is going to be every day for LeBron in the Western Conference. So we will see how much his body can hold out playing in the West versus playing in the East. It is definitely much harder. So we'll see. I still think the Lakers made a mistake. I think they really needed to go and get Kawhi while they could. I mean, they could have given away some of those young players. Anyway, we'll see. Goddess Kelly, what's your take on this?
Well, I think that San Antonio took a bad situation with their star player pretty much standing up and saying, I don't want to play for you guys anymore, and getting the best deal they possibly could for him. I mean, we knew the Lakers weren't going to give up everything that San Antonio was looking for. But San Antonio, they found themselves a sucker, and that sucker was the Toronto Raptors. I don't know what the Raptors were thinking. I mean, everyone knows if Kawhi plays this year, which, Kawhi was basically saying, if I don't get to go to LA, then I'm not going to play. If he plays this year, it's only going to be for 1 year. So Toronto pretty much mortgaged their future just to get Kawhi on this 1 year rental deal. They gave up their best player, DeMar DeRozan, who is still a young player, still got a lot left in him, has been pretty much leading that team, and they gave up a first-round draft pick? That's absolutely ridiculous to me that they would give all that up for 1 year with Kawhi Leonard. If you look at Toronto, they have been every year, they've been right in the mix of things, and then they get taken out by LeBron James and his Cavaliers team, his old Cavaliers team. But you know what? LeBron James isn't in the East anymore. So that hump that Toronto hasn't been able to get over is no longer there. We don't know how Toronto would do against a Celtics team or against a Sixers team because they haven't gotten a chance to face them in the playoffs. They always get taken out by LeBron James and the Cavs. For all we know, if it wasn't for LeBron James, Toronto could have been going to the finals these past few years if LeBron wasn't in the East sooner than this year. So to give up the player that's been a big part of their success and getting them to that level, that's absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that they also got rid of their coach, who was doing an amazing coaching job, just because he can't beat LeBron James. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know what Toronto is playing at by giving up all of this for 1 year with Kawhi Leonard, when Kawhi Leonard has stood up and said, if I'm not playing in LA, then I don't really care. And he's not going to re-sign a contract. So they've pretty much made it that after this year, they're going to be in rebuilding mode. And there are a lot of teams that need to start thinking about the future when players like LeBron James retire, when the Golden State Warriors no longer have their super team. They got to start thinking about that future. Because we know with the Golden State Warriors, as stacked as they have become, especially after picking up Boogie Cousins, we know that nobody is going to be beating them in the finals anytime soon. So teams need to start looking beyond this season and next season and start looking, 3, 4, and 5 years out on what's best for their team. And getting rid of DeMar DeRozan, that was an absolutely ridiculous move by Toronto. But San Antonio, good job. You released them. I think DeMar DeRozan is a very good player. I've been high on him for a few years. aside from the fact that he hasn't been able to beat LeBron, I think that he's a good player, an absolutely good player. And that draft pick could be a difference maker for San Antonio looking at life after the Golden State Warriors super team is broken up. Like I said, looking ahead for the future, not next year, going down the stretch, 3, 4, 5 years. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, God is Kelly. One thing, the draft pick is for this year, so considering the team that they're going to have this year, and it's still a protected draft pick too, considering the team that they're going to have, it's going to be a low draft pick in the first round. And you know what? DeMar DeRozan hasn't done too much in the playoffs. So he does a lot in the regular season, but he has really faltered in the playoffs. So, I think it's still a good move for Toronto because remember, free agents don't come to Toronto. That's the one thing. It's very hard for them to get free agents. But we'll see. Let's hear what Spitface has to say about all of this.
Unfortunately, it's the President Trump effect. And what happened is that, see, they was confused up in Toronto because of the tariffs. And they, looked at that tariff situation and they thought, hey, we saw what Trump did with the NFL. We saw what he did, with our president and the G7. Man, we don't want him picking on us. Yeah, man, I don't know, it might be a tariff involved, so they got scared. And just said, we're going to make a deal. For the tariff get us. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, Goddess Kelly, you also brought up the fact that the Warriors, for the next 3 or 4 years, that the Warriors are going to be the number one team and very hard to beat. So I think in this aspect, the reason why
I think we need to move it along.
We need to move it along. I don't know the reason why DeMar DeRozan was
you need to move it along.
They can rebuild after him. Okay, so anyway, Goddess Kelly, over to you.
How many points you think you get to make?
Goddess Kelly, over to you.
This ain't Steven Smith and the white boy with the furry face. Brown face.
All right, I'm not going to debate Goddess Kelly. Go ahead, Goddess Kelly, over to you. You can debate me later. It's cool. I can take it. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest, that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We are not talking about Rebecca Armstrong, Nikki Fuller, or Betty Pariso. We are talking about the knockout punch. Manny Pacquiao at 39 is trying to land on Father Time for a last go-around attempt at boxing glory. Manny did beat Lucas Mathis in a TKO in the 7th round, so the old man still got something in the tank. We just don't know what that something is. Will Manny be added to the long list of boxers who should have moved on quietly into the sunset instead of being beat silly by a younger, way more talented opponent? Is Manny doing this simply so we will not have to fight off a certain president who thinks it's okay to shoot suspected drug dealers dead and pretty much anyone who opposes him? Should Manny consider a match with Conor McGregor as a tune-up for McGregor's rematch with Money Mayweather? Nicole Bass, Lisa Marie Varon, and China are asking, what you saying? Now, I firmly believe that Manny Pacquiao just needs to sit down and retire into the sunset. We knew he was trying to, get into politics, that sort of thing. Maybe he should stick in that direction. I don't know. But I don't think that he's really got enough left at 39 years old to be trying to get big-name boxing matches. He's going to become a shadow of himself. He's not going to be the same person. And the fans of his that were cheering for him, 6, 7, 8 years ago, he's going to lose them because he can't fight at that same level. After Manny Pacquiao fought Money Mayweather is when Manny Pacquiao should have just said, okay, that's it. I got this big name fight that we were trying to get for years and years. Money Mayweather, they kept saying, was trying to duck out of it. And then the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight finally happens. Of course, Manny Pacquiao lost in a decision, and that should have been it for him, in my opinion. I think that should have been his swan song, that match that, they were talking about and hyping up for so long. I just don't see in him that same fighting spirit that I used to. I mean, he's had a little bit more success, but I don't think it's going to last very long. And talking about him trying to fight Conor McGregor, and that's ridiculous to me. Manny Pacquiao doesn't have the kind of fighting style to stand up to somebody like a Conor McGregor. The only reason that Floyd Mayweather was able to do it was because it was in a boxing ring, and Conor McGregor couldn't use all of his different MMA skills. He had to stick strictly to boxing rules, and we all know that Money Mayweather is one of the best defensive boxing minds of this generation. There's no way that somebody like Manny Pacquiao would be able to stand up to the kind of barrage of fists that Conor McGregor would be able to throw out. So, I mean, Manny Pacquiao, don't do a Brett Favre and stay around past your prime. Don't start sending dick pics to sideline reporters, and just fade away into the night and enjoy your money before you start suffering from a little bit of that CTE because you've been hit in the head one too many times. First Lady, what do you think about this?
Well, Manny Pacquiao's going to be 40 years old in December, and he should just move quietly into the sunset. At this point, I don't think people even want to see Manny fight McGregor nor Mayweather again. The first Pacquiao-Mayweather fight should have occurred several years earlier than what it did. And, if you're a true boxing fan, you don't want to see these old boxers fighting past their time. I mean, Muhammad Ali was my hero, and to see him fight Larry Holmes in the last fight was so very painful to watch. It's just, you just don't want to see these old boxers fighting. I mean, they just need to move on. They need to quietly move on. They need to look at the second half of their life, after boxing. And the thing with boxing promoters, I mean, the boxing promoters need to make sure that fights are happening when the boxers are in the prime of their life. That really makes a big difference. That's why, I have to commend Dana White from the UFC, because he demands that his champions are always fighting the top contenders. And that's why you always have good fights with the UFC. But it's not like that with boxing. Unfortunately, there's so many entities that control boxing that you always don't see the best fights when they should happen. And that's the key. The optimal time when they should happen is when a boxer is in their prime. And that's the type of fights that we need to see. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Manny, he just needs to retire and continue his political career in the Philippines.
All right, so for everyone out there that was thinking that the First Lady and I cannot agree on something, here we are. We are agreeing. So, Stickface, what are you saying?
I look at the situation, and it reminds me of an old song. The thrill is gone, baby. The thrill done gone away. Manny. The thrill is gone, dude. You had your run. You made some money. I feel you got cheated. Because as the First Lady said, when you was in your prime and a certain other money guy was in his prime, that's when, when the magic would have occurred. But see, unfortunately, the promoters are just so wicked. And they money-making schemes, and they done, told, and now the boxers, it's all, and it's all about the dollar bill. But we don't get to see the best product because they delay. I mean, you would think that this is a congressional investigation or something. Drag. 2 years, Benghazi, come on. You 30 looking for two folks to fight. Next thing you raising grandkids and they ain't fault. But Manny, the thrill is gone. It's gone away. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we are all in unanimous agreement on that one. So, First Lady, now please take us to break.
The first two listeners to email us or send a shout-out with the reason these ladies are grouped together will receive a $25 gift card from our partners at IGOT.com and the NBAstore.com. Your hint, Body by Jake. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Si'Yir Royale on the first part of Shout Out.
I hope that ain't Si'Yir later. I tell them they need to send a recording when we here go try to figure out that. Read us the line.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Si'Yir Royale.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Yes, today we are featuring music from Si'Yir Royale. DJ, let's hear Mad.
Is you mad? Or no? Don't be mad, baby. Si'Yir Royale. Alright. Boy, I don't even care no more. We've been fighting since the sun came up. I just want it to be over, so we can get undercover. Yeah, it ain't nothing like that screaming, scratching, moaning after fight. Cause then I know we gon' be alright, and we gon' make love till we get it right. I'm right, you're wrong. Let go. Beat me to the bedroom. It's so hot in here. Baby, show me how you really feel. Come and be my makeup. Use that pillow, take off this makeup. Come on, baby, give me that top love. Is you mad or not? Is you mad or not? Tell me how mad you really are. Okay. Stop that. I told you I'd make it up to you, right? Come here. Ooh, daddy, you so mean. With your little walk and your talk and your attitude and your flag up, with your tag up, play your wall down, don't visit up every time I come around. I'm the good one, but I like that smug. Know you mad at me, but I like that overprotective, baby, come here and teach me a lesson in physics 101. Can I have a test when you're done? I can only take it after the sun is lights out. Make a queen wanna bite down. Back room with the playground, and we got a lot, plenty of room for the take down. Stop all this nonsense. I've been sitting here listening to the time tick. I done damn near squashed it, but you still mad, gotta sit here like, but I can't help the fact that it turns me on, and I wish that's what we can get it. Come on and show me how much you're really mad, cause hot just bothering me, baby, real bad.
Okay, well, that's Si'Yir Royale. Let's see if she's gonna get a shout out or gonna get the mute from the panel. Well, let me just put it this way. I'm gonna start it off. I like the song by Si'Yir. I definitely like the vibe of the song. The one thing though, I kind of like her rapping better than I did her singing, if this is definitely the same people. I love the rapping part of the song, and I thought she was an excellent rapper. And so it was a nice little hip-hop song, had a great production, so I'm going to definitely shout it out. Goddess Kelly, what did you think of Si'Yir Royale?
I mean, I'm actually on the same page with you. I thought the rapping was excellent. I really liked the way that the track was mixed. I thought they did an excellent job blending it all together. It was catchy, and I think that she's extremely marketable. So it's not really my personal style, but I think the kids today would really like it. You know, the kids with their Cardi B and all that stuff that they listen to. I think it's relevant and marketable. I'm going to shout it out.
All right, you're going to shout out. And Spitface, what's your opinion?
Now, you know, what get me is Goddess Kelly talk about the kids, and she's 22.
I'm an old soul.
I get your point. But I'm gonna shout it out. I'd like to hear her singing. Her rapping was strong, but I'd like to hear her singing. I thought it was kind of interesting. But I'm kind of wondering, is this one of them dominant, submissive kind of tracks? Because she talking about like she like it that he mad. Well, I don't know, you know. And see, you know, everybody know the submissive is the one that really run the relationship.
Only Spitface. Well, on part 2 of Shout Out, we'll have another performance from Si'Yir Royale. It's time. Yes, it is time for my favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It.
Yeah, I'll flip all excited this morning. Done splash water all over the place. So, you know, it must be something good going on. Let's see. Time for Flip It. While host defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. If you are a player in the NFL, you know there are no guaranteed contracts. This ain't the NBA, ain't baseball. Football players, there's one thing they know about their money. NFL ain't got no guaranteed contracts. You also know that if you are on the roster week 1 of the regular season, you are guaranteed the entire year's contract. So week 1, you on that roster, whatever they do, they can cut you, they can not play you, they can, you know, do whatever happens, you're going to get paid. Now that's the only guarantee. With that in mind, we ask, will Dez Bryant be on someone's roster week 1 of the NFL regular season? Then, with training camp starting in days, if he hasn't been picked up already, he ain't going to be picked up until after the regular season starts. Goddess Kelly defend.
I mean, it's come to a point with Dez Bryant where people are starting to think that he's poison. I mean, his performance has gone downhill over the past few years. He's starting to get a little older, getting a little worn behind the tires. And he came out in the media several times. He's spoken against Dak Prescott. He's spoken against teammates. He's a little diva. And people don't want to have that kind of personality on their team when it's destructive. I know wide receivers are known for being the divas of the NFL, but a lot of them are kind of fun-loving divas, like kind of how T.O. was, or Chad Johnson, where, you know, in the locker room they're not actually completely detrimental to the team like Dez Bryant, or speaking so poorly against teammates in the media. Well, maybe in the case of some people like T.O., that happens, but hey. Nowadays, though, players, they're a little bit more sensitive, and some of the things that Des Bryant has said can really rub some people the wrong way. So I don't think he's going to get picked up until after the regular season starts and some team somewhere has got an injury and they're looking to be a little bit desperate to pick up a wide receiver. And he's certainly not going to go to a team of his choosing. Like when he first went into free agency, he was kind of demanding that he get picked up by an NFC East team. We don't want you. We don't want you on the Eagles. The Giants don't want you. They don't need you. And I don't know what's about the Redskins. I'm kind of surprised they didn't pick him up. But anyway, he's going to become a desperation pick, and he's going to have to settle for a lot less money and to a team that is not one of his choosing when he finally gets himself that contract.
Well. So that's how you feels about it. I got some bad news for Dez. Dez, pull up a chair here, Dez. I want to talk to you a little bit. Now, Dez, first off, did you realize that your name is Dez Bryant? Now, what that means, Dez, is that you Dez Bryant. That means that you are not OBJ. You ain't him. You ain't Jerry Rice. But I really got some bad news for you. You ain't T.O. Which means that you Dez Bryant. Dez, I hate to tell you this. You are not the same league as Odell Beckham Jr., Jerry Rice ever was, because, no, you cannot carry his jockstrap. And a few other wide receivers that, I'll put it like this. You ain't that wide receiver down in Arizona who, man, I don't know what they fed him, but you ain't him. Or what's that guy in Atlanta, Julio something? Me and Julio down by the, brickyard or something. You ain't him either. You are Dez, damn near washed up Brian. And dude, you got to have a big ego. You got to play professional sports. Because everybody telling you, you one of the proud, the few, out of millions of people to get there. So I got that. But when you go, you didn't go. Now you might be able to hook up in that flag football league if you play the cards right. Make a little side money. But you are not going to be on nobody's first week roster. That's all I'm saying. First Lady.
Well, Des has, 7 weeks before the regular season starts. So if he doesn't get signed within the next 1 or 2 weeks, he might as well call it quits. And I would say that Des will not be on a team the start of a season. I said it before. He should have taken the deal from the Ravens when it was being offered, because nobody else was offering Des a deal. Des betted on himself, and he lost big. I mean, real big. He needs to reevaluate his current stock in the league, which has plummeted faster than the Papa John stocks, and that's for sure. So Des is not worth the big contract.
Fast, too.
Yes, this is a slippery slope for the Papa John stocks. But anyway, Des is not worth a big contract because he seems to be injury prone, and as Goddess Kelly definitely alluded to, he is a malcontent and a distraction in the locker room. And also, he's a one-dimensional receiver. You remember, he doesn't run routes because he doesn't know how to run a route. All he knows how to do is just run straight down the field. But anyway, most teams will put up with Des if he still was an elite wide receiver. But he has improved that in several years. So Des will eventually join a team mid-season, but definitely not on day one of the season.
All right, you heard the defense, but you know this is flipping, where we flip the script and defend the opposing view. The teams know now's the time to get him cheap and desperate to prove he still has something in the tank while he can get adjusted to the offense. Now, if there's one thing that the NFL teams like is cheap talent. And Dez got talent. He got skills. And he know he ain't getting no kind of big money. And this is his last hurrah. And if he got any opportunity, because as the First Lady said, he bet on himself, and, man, Vegas was chomping at the bit. Come on here and lose. So we could get in on your losing, but so Dez got to do whatever it takes, and the teams know that. And see, there's some teams who, they look at it and they go, you know what, just having him on the team is going to help put some butts in the seats. And, cause we know we ain't going no place. You know? See, no, he ain't going to the teams that's about to make it to the playoffs. But a team that need a name to help sell some tickets, shoot, they'll give up on that. They'll say, hey, look, you know what? We'll make a roster spot, and we're gonna give you what we want to give you, because we think that you can put some butts in the seat with or without your antics. Like, cause for us, your antics is, hey, you know, we got something other to talk about other than how bad our team is. So there's a bad team out there that's gonna say, we gonna get him now while he's cheap and desperate, and while he got some time to kind of learn the offense, so we can go into the season showing that it's a new day in our losing ass town. God is Kelli, defend.
Well, absolutely. Like you just said, Dez Bryant is still a name. And when it comes down to it, he may be an arrogant jerk. He may be locker room poison. But what he's not is he's not stupid. So if anything, this lack of offers so far is probably going to teach him a little bit of a lesson, saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I need to humble myself a little bit, and maybe I need to start listening to offers that a few months ago I wouldn't have considered. As teams go into training camp, there's going to be teams out there that are going to realize they don't have the kind of depth and talent that they wanted at wide receiver, and they're going to start thinking, hey, maybe somebody that's kind of a veteran and a name like Dez Bryant might be able to come on here, teach our rookies a little something, because, Dez was very active in the community. He did a lot with the younger generations, like the high school players, a lot of public speaking, that sort of thing. He did do a lot of that, so I'm not going to hold that against him. So I think that he's going to realize that if he wants to continue to play as an NFL wide receiver, he's going to need to start listening to some of these other teams that may be at the bottom of the NFL totem pole, so to speak. And I think he needs to go out there, get himself a little GPS unit, start visiting some of these smaller markets that will still be happy with the name value of Dez Bryant. And while he's got that GPS, maybe he can learn what a route is as well. That's all I'm saying. MapQuest.
First Lady gets the last word. Defend.
MapQuest. Dez Bryant is actually a few months younger than Antonio Brown. Yet Dez has to prove that he still has something in the tank. Unfortunately, that's the way it is right now for Dez. But this offseason has been a very, very humbling experience for Dez. And he realized that his demands early with this free agency was just too unrealistic, and now he is willing to accept any offer from a team. And I mean any offer from a team. And there has been several teams rumored regarding signing Dez. Recently heard the Green Bay Packers are interested, and the Seattle Seahawks are another team interested in Dez. And, based on Dez's ability, I think the Packers would be a great fit for him. because he really could redeem his career. Everybody knows that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, could throw the ball deep down the field, and that's what Dez loves to do, is run straight down the field without any regards to a route. So that is a perfect match for Dez. And, the man is just so desperate right now to be picked up by a team. I'm even willing to think that he would take minimum salary at this point in time. I mean, it's so sad to think that Dez Bryant would take a minimum salary, but he really needs to sign with a team, and he really wants to sign with a team. And I think really these teams now know that they really, really can get Dez really cheap. And he'll be on a team before the training camp ends, definitely, because he's coming cheaper by the dozen.
He said a few months younger than Antonio Brown. Man. Your fortunes can go up and down in the wild ride of the NFL. And First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Yes, Brian. The thread is gone, baby. Gone away.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Goddess Kelly, over to you.
All right, we got a good one for you guys today. Virginia man totals $300,000 car one day after buying it. A Virginia man on Saturday totaled a $300,000 car one day after he bought it, police said. The Fairfax County Police Department said a man driving a McLaren 720S and crashed into a tree because he was speeding. The driver, who was not named by police, suffered only non-life-threatening injuries. Purchased Friday, totaled Saturday. This McLaren 720S, costing around $300,000, was destroyed today in Great Falls because of speed, police said. The driver was taken to the hospital with thankfully only non-life-threatening injuries. A reminder to slow down or it could cost you. The McLaren 720S is a luxury sports car that was given a 5-star rating by Autocar. Interesting little side note. Goddess Kelly, myself, I had a run-in with a McLaren. I was visiting my mom out in Baltimore. We went to her yacht club, and some guy in a McLaren was trying to holler at us. And later, he left the car alone, and I put a dent in the paint with my stilettos. So it's a lesson. If you own a McLaren, don't holler at Goddess Kelly, and don't go speeding because it's going to cost you some money.
Oh, my goodness, Goddess Kelly, you didn't.
I see it can get...
for the man hitting on you?
There was a lot of alcohol involved that night.
I think there might have been more to that story. You know what? I do have something that came across the wire that I just, an Alabama man walked almost 20 miles to his new job.
What?
Yep. When his boss found out, he gave him a car.
Yay.
I don't think it was a McLaren, though.
That's true dedication. 20
yeah.
miles.
Hey. That's what being an American is about. Not cutting off opportunity, pulling them up. Because you can either push down or you can pull up.
That's an awesome story. I like that. But I think the water is splashing, and I think it is time again for Flip It.
Yes, it's time for Flip It again. And Jimmy G signed a nice, juicy contract with the 49ers based on his winning after being made the starter. Was there a reason the Patriots let Tom Brady talk them into trading him? Will Jimmy G's second season as a starter resemble Tom Brady's second season or Dak Prescott's? Panel defense. Jimmy G's got skills. but defenses got tape. He will look better than Dak, but nowhere near Tom Brady-like. Goddess Kelly, defend.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to look better than Dak, both in playing style and, in looks. But that's another story. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Jimmy G, it was kind of an anomaly. I think a lot of people last season were so used to the 49ers being so bad for so long. I mean, San Francisco, after they got rid of Colin Kaepernick, after their little stint with the Chip Kelly, the destroyer of teams, they were a laughingstock. If it wasn't for the Cleveland Browns, the San Francisco 49ers would probably be the most made fun of team in the NFL over the past few years. And then along comes Jimmy G, who had some time to learn behind Brady and be coached by Belichick before getting traded. And teams playing them were just considering the 49ers were going to be terrible. So it was easy for him to blindside them. But now going into this season, after seeing what Jimmy G did on the later part of last season, they're not going to be blindsided anymore. They're going to be ready for it. So, I mean, he's going to be a serviceable quarterback, but he's not going to look like the elite hero that he looked like at the end of last season because the surprise factor is gone.
All right, the surprise factor is gone. We'll see. Spitface, defend.
I'm looking at the situation and I'm going, I think he's going to look worse than Dak. And part of that is that defenses are not surprised anymore. And then the other part of that, the 49ers ain't that good. They still got a lot of work to do. And when they start, you're looking at the Rams. The Rams is for real. And we don't know what's going to happen with that Seahawk team. So, or what's going to happen with them Cardinals. So, the division is there. But, like I said, now that they done got some tape, I think there's going to be a severe drop-off. And Jimmy G will not look as good as Dak. Let alone, we ain't even talking about Tom. We ain't even talking about Tom Terrific. Like, oh no.
Oh no, we're not talking about Tom, right? Well, I look at it this way. Jimmy G definitely has skills because, let's face it, he is 7-0 starting as a quarterback. Now that the teams definitely have footage of his game, it will be very tough for Jimmy G to be at least undefeated. He still will show that he is a good quarterback, but he will not be a superstar like Tom Brady in his second year. So, like I said, I ain't even going to discuss Tom Brady. But he's definitely better than Dak Prescott because Jimmy G is a much better passer than Dak. Jimmy G has done more with less than Dak Prescott. Jimmy G doesn't have great offense like Dak Prescott. He didn't have decent receivers like Dak, yet Jimmy G looked more impressive than Dak Prescott. So Jimmy G, he had Carlos Hyde as his running back. Dak had Zeke Elliott, and really, to be honest with you, we saw actually how bad Dak was because once Zeke left for 6 games, Dak Prescott couldn't do nothing. He didn't press anybody. And it just shows you that Jimmy G is definitely a better quarterback than Dak Prescott and has more skills because we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, you can't even compare the San Francisco 49ers to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are a much, much better team, and still Jimmy G was able to win. He's definitely not Tom Brady-like, but he's definitely better than Dak. So, this is where the panel, we flip it and we defend the opposing situation. Just like Tom Brady, he will prove he is worth the money. Dak wishes he could play that good. Spitface, defend.
Dak so wish he could play as good as Jimmy G. And now I like Dak. Dak is a friendly guy. He's a really good athlete. and a really good quarterback. And so what that means is that Dak is he is that middle of the road. He got enough skills to win you a lot of games, and he tends to not make a lot of mistakes. So that puts him in the middle of the top, of the starting quarterbacks. Jimmy G is going to prove that he is not in. He done shown that, look, I'm not a flash in the pan. I came out of a system that, where whether he wanted to mentor me or not, I got to see Tom Brady and how he worked, how he was trained. And believe me, Tom might not have been saying, well, man, I'm going to take you under my wing. He didn't have to. I had enough sense to go, you know what Tom doing? Yeah, I need to be doing that. Why is Tom doing it? Okay, Tom does that because, I see, I need to be doing that. And Bill Belichick. The one thing that Bill Belichick is going to do, any quarterback he bring in, got to have the mental game down pat. Whether you the second string, because you might play. So that they work on most teams, that third string quarterback, second, they kind of getting treated, like second, third string quarterbacks. And the Patriots, somebody might go down. We want you ready. So he already is light years ahead. And he got a shot, like that NFC West is kind of turbulent. He got a shot where, hey, he could be looking somewhere near like a Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, he can be looking like somewhere, what you say, somewhat like Tom Brady, okay? That's what...
But, Tom Brady is Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is Tom Brady. All right, Goddess Kelly, defend.
All right, I just want to remind everybody out there how Jimmy Garoppolo got to be on the 49ers. It's because a quarterback named Tom Brady went to Robert Kraft and was all like, you got to get rid of this kid. And Robert Kraft was like, why would I get rid of him? He's good. He's your backup. He's the best backup you could possibly hope for. And Tom Brady started stamping his feet and was all like, but Daddy, he might be better than me. And Robert Kraft was all like, yeah, but, we got to start looking ahead because you're 40 years old. You might retire soon. And Tom Brady threw himself on the ground and started banging his fists on the floor. And he's all like, no, I'm not going to have anybody that people are going to say that's better than me. And people are going to start saying to put him in if I throw one interception. No, Daddy, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. So if Jimmy Garoppolo was threatening Tom Brady just by being good, by being his backup, it scared Tom Brady. Tom Brady wanted him out of there because Tom Brady was afraid that Jimmy G would take his job because of how good he was. Now, great recognizes great. And as much as I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It pains me to admit that. And for Tom Brady to see how great this kid is, that says something about your talent. It really does. And I think that Jimmy G proved that he is a starting quarterback, and he is a damn good one with what he's done. And he is only going to get better as he gets more experience under center. He's got all those fundamentals, like Spitface said. He has got that mental game, and greatness recognizes him with the potential of being great. Jimmy G is going to be the next Tom Brady after Tom Brady retires. And when it comes to Dak Prescott, let's not forget that Dak is short for Dakota Rain. That's not the name of a good quarterback. That's the name of a subpar stripper. Go home, Dakota. Jimmy G and Tom Brady got you beat.
Right, Goddess Kelly. Goddess Kelly, you say Tom Brady was scared.
He was.
Jimmy G. But, every team that needed a quarterback wanted Jimmy G. But he was never made available by the Patriots. And once he became available, like Goddess Kelly just explained, the 49ers knew they needed a franchise quarterback, and they got their man for only a 2018 second-round draft pick. I mean, it seems like 49ers fleeced the Patriots. And, they got to steal. Let's just face it, they got to steal. And after 7 games, he had 5 games with the 49ers. Jimmy G proved that he is worth all the coins. I mean, this quarterback rallied this team to 5 consecutive wins at the end of the season. I mean, that's really saying something because, as we know, the 49ers really was a horrible team. And Jimmy G won because he won without superstars. And since Jimmy G took over as the starting quarterback for the 49ers, did you know that they improved in yards per game, net passing per game, third down completions, time of possession, and all of these quarterbacks? Jimmy G took the 49ers, who were ranked at least last to basically at the end, to first in all of the NFL in all of those rankings. They ranked first in all of those categories. I mean, that's really saying something. That's saying something. You got a damn good quarterback, like Kelli said. And, I mean, Jimmy G is worth every single penny. And, hey, what you call him, Dakota? He wishes he could be Jimmy G and put up those numbers. But anyway, that's the end of Flip It. Kelli, what kind of jambalaya do you have for us? Are we going to have spicy today or mild?
I think this one is spicy. It's always spicy when we bring it up, so let's have at it. My therapist told me that a great way to let go of your anger is to write letters to people you hate and then burn them. I did that and I feel much better, but I'm wondering, do I keep the letters? So how does this quote relate to the NFL's continued mishandling of the national anthem policy? Now, just like what I was saying, the NFLPA has come out and said that they never agreed to this new anthem policy rule. And when we talked about it the first time, after the first rule came out, I said that was a very big possibility that was going to happen with the NFLPA, because it's in the collective bargaining agreement that any rule changes need to be agreed on by both the players' union and the owners. And I knew the players' union wasn't going to let this go. That's their job, to stand up for the rights of the players. And in this case, the right of the player is to kneel down if they so choose. Now, the NFL has put it on hold. They're saying that they need to do more talks and negotiation. And it was the Miami Dolphins that basically came out and said that if any of their players protested by kneeling during the national anthem, they were going to be suspended for 4 games. That was going to be the punishment that the Miami Dolphins came up with. And then NFLPA just had a field day with that. And then, of course, we had the Twitter commander-in-chief going at it once again, distracting everyone in the world about what he did with Putin and his fiasco of a press conference. He decided to take the heat off of himself. He would put it back onto the NFL as well with that tweet that he thinks the players should be suspended for an entire season with no pay if they dare to disrespect the flag and the anthem. Come on, Donald Trump, you are so out of touch with what is going on in your country and in the streets. Go back to Russia, go back to your little party with your new bestie, and let the adults handle this one. And the adult way to handle it is to recognize that protest has a big part in this country. It's what our country was founded on. And there is a segment of our population that feels oppressed, and they have a right to express that until the ending of unfair police brutality practices. And Donald Trump, you're the one that needs to be burned, because there is a lot of people that hate you, and there's a lot of people that do burn you in effigy, but it's time for you to take responsibility for your actions, which is something that you've never had to do for your entire life. So it's time for you to recognize that America is not behind what you do and the way that you continue to oppress these players that just want to exercise their First Amendment rights. First Lady, what you got on this one?
Well, I'm going to make it short and sweet. It seems that every time we think this issue is dead, it keeps coming up with even more velocity than before. And really, we got the Miami Dolphins to thank because somehow their internal policy leaked out to the Associated Press, and it started this situation over again because, they had put them saying that the team could suspend somebody up to 4 games. And, even though the Dolphins came out later and said they wouldn't spend somebody up to 4 games for not standing for the national anthem. But, again, it just brings up the talk over and over again. And as you indicated, Goddess Kelly, President Trump, he's back commenting about the situation again. And to me, the NFL, they just need to burn this current policy and sit down with the NFLPA and come up with a policy that both parties would agree upon. And that's all I'm going to say.
What you got on this one?
All right. So the trader-in-chief has tweeted, what else is new? I am saddened in a couple of ways. And, the quote is perfect because it's like you missing the message. That whole quote is about missing the message and turning it into what you want it to be, as opposed to what it should be. And, I'm saddened that state television, aka Fox News, is complicit in treasonous acts. And what is happening is that the NFL consumer base is citizens of the United States of America. And there's this thing about citizens of the United States of America. We have diverse views and opinions. And even though you may think you can come up with a rule where the noise will quiet down, we are a nation of diverse views and opinions. And if you always listen to the most upset voice in the room, you will make decisions that are not based on people who agree that there's a diverse, we are diverse with diverse views. So you start making your decisions based on the loudest clownish spectacle in the room instead of common sense. And it also shows that the owners are with the loudest voices in the room. But they consumers are mixed. You got some of them who with the loudest voices in the room, but then you got others who, hey, they ain't with that all the way. They may be with it some, but not all the way. So the NFL is confused because the owners are like, we don't understand. We doing them no, you're not. See, you keep thinking, and it keeps being showing that when you hear slave and plantation remarks coming from NFL owners, that is not I'll just say, uncommon view. Now, coming from a hip place, y'all need some bean pies. That's all I'm saying.
All right, that jambalaya was indeed spicy, and I think we need to digest it with a quick break. So, First Lady, take us there.
On the other side of the break, we'll have another performance from Si'Yir Royale on Shout Out. Please stay tuned.
Get a bean pie. Don't worry. Be happy.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Goddess Kelly, over to you.
All right, we have got another performance from Si'Yir Royale. So DJ, let's hear Something Different.
Something different.
All the girls get down on the floor. All the girls get down on the floor.
I'm going in, running tell a friend. Consider this a warning shot, I won't tell you again. I could be your fix, I could be your lean. I could be a lot of things, baby, trust and believe. Now what she gon' do with you? I don't really think she know, really think she know how to handle you. Big boys ain't meant for little girls. Have you seen these kind of hits before? I can show you something that'll break it off.
Watch it.
Drop it low. Pick it back up. Can you handle that? Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different. Let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different. Come on, baby, let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different. Let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different. Come on, baby, let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Baby, I don't think that you're ready. Bragging on yourself, going in heavy. But when you're up on that and you see that thing, you're like, whoa. Boy, I don't think about that life. Got you walking around saying she gon' be my wife. Well, if you like it, then the ring's on you. But first, you gotta show me you know what to do. Ooh, you know I like that. You know I'ma bring it right back. If you keep doing what you've been doing, then ain't nobody taking your place, baby. Let me show you something different. Let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different. Come on, baby, let me show you something different. Not used to. Let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. Let me show you something different, baby. Let me show you something different. Give you something you're not used to. You're not used to. All the girls get down on the floor. All the girls get down on the floor. All the girls get down on the floor. Tell them don't run. All the girls get down on the floor. Baby, tell them don't run. All the girls get down on the floor.
All right, that was Something Different. So let's find out if the track is going to get a shout out or the mute button. Once again, I thought the beat and the blending of the song was extremely well done. It was catchy. It had a nice little hook to it. The song didn't quite have as much of the rapping as the first one, and I thought her rapping was really good. I think that there's a little bit of weakness to her singing voice. I think she needs to sing with her outside voice instead of her inside voice, maybe. But I like her though. There's just there's something different about her. She has that hip hop vibe, but she still sounds extremely feminine, not like some of these other female rappers that are coming out on the scene now that sound like, you know, like street trash. I mean, Si'Yir Royale, she has like that little bit of a hood edge to her, but she doesn't sound trashy. She sounds feminine. So I'm going to give it a shout out, but I did not like this one as much as the first one. First Lady, what did you think?
Well, I agree. That song had a funky beat to it for sure. I was sitting here jamming in my seat. I mean, it really had a funky beat to it. I definitely, actually, I like her singing much better on this track than I did the first track. I mean, like you said, it didn't have her rapping that much in it, but she definitely has a great rapping skills, have great rapping skills, but her voice to me sounded much better in this track. And I mean, I didn't know if she could really sing, but I think she can sing. She has a good voice. And you're right. It is something different about it. She has a very good vibe. And it seems like we should be hearing more about Si'Yir Royale. You know, both songs to me were very strong, very strong. I like both of them. Definitely shouting it out.
All right, Spitface, what did you think?
I'm giving the gal a shout out. I thought she was jamming there, and there is. I'll just say that I would like to hear more of her, because I think those two tracks aren't really giving us like her full, range. But they great. I love the tracks, and I see on this one they did emphasize the voice more. So it's like she's an intriguing talent. I want to check her out. Shout out.
Yeah. I agree. There's something about, she's got that je ne sais quoi about her. There's something about her that is intriguing, like you said. So if you agree, and if you liked what you heard from Si'Yir Royale, you can check her out at FYU-CHUR.com/SIYIR-ROYALE. And if you would like to be heard, or if you have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been having withdrawal from the picks. So now, First Lady, over to you. Let's get these picks back going.
Okay, withdrawals. Yes. The hardball picks are here. Who will win the crown? Who will wear the crown? Not win the crown, but who will wear the crown? All right, so let's get to these picks. By the end of the day, Friday, Tigers more wins than the Twins. I say no. The Twins will have more wins. Goddess Kelly.
Twins more wins. I say no.
Okay. Spitface.
Well, the trend should be the Twins more wins, but you got to roll the dice a little bit. I'm going to go with the Tigers.
Well, Spitface, you rolled the dice so much, you were in a negative for the whole season. But anyway. Okay, let's move along. Oakland more wins than Seattle. Goddess Kelly.
I'm kind of liking a little bit of some Oakland, so I'll say yes.
Okay. I'm going to say no. Seattle's going to win. Spitface.
Like I say, the trend can be your friend, but we rolling the dice. I'm going to go with Seattle.
Okay, so you're going to say no. All right. Atlanta more wins than Philadelphia. This shall be interesting. All right. I'm not sure she's a Phillies fan, but Spitface, Atlanta more wins than Philadelphia. Yes or no?
I'm gonna go with the team with the name that denigrates people of native-born Americans. I'm going with Atlanta.
Okay. I'm going with Atlanta, too. I'm going to say Atlanta, yes. Atlanta's playing well. They've come back this year, definitely. Goddess Kelly.
Just for
Atlanta
full
more wins
transparency.
than Philadelphia?
I'm just going to say, for full transparency, my baseball affiliation is the Boston Red Sox. But since I am living near Philly, I'll go with Philly and say no.
You say no, and Spitface said yes. Okay. Milwaukee more wins than the Cubs. Let me see. Milwaukee's been playing well, too. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with those Cubs. Goddess Kelly.
I'm going to roll with you and also say no. Let's go with the Cubs.
Okay. Spitface.
The Brewers is an interesting team, but the Cubs is rolling. The Cubs.
Rolling. All right. San Francisco more wins than the Dodgers. Goddess Kelly.
I got to stick with the Dodgers on this one. No.
I hear you. Spitface.
I'm tempted to roll with the dice, but that minus 20,000. I am so tempted to go roll with that dice. I'm going with the Dodgers.
Okay, and I think it's unanimously, especially if they got Mikado's his name, I'll definitely go with no. Definitely rolling with the Dodgers. All right, well, we'll see the results next week, as we start our hardball picks. Goddess Kelli, she can get out of her feelings about that losing. Anyway, I know how you feel, Goddess Kelli. I've been down that road before. It's time for our panel to give their outrageous predictions. Goddess Kelli, what is your outrageous prediction?
I don't want to say this, but my outrageous prediction is one of the top 5 quarterbacks is going to be injured in the first week of practices.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Who could it be? Who could it be? Spitface, what's your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that before week 1 of the season begins, Dez Bryant will be a Seattle Seahawk.
Okay. Well, my outrageous prediction is Tiger Woods is going to win the Open this weekend. That's my outrageous prediction.
Roll of the dice here. Okay, all right, let me check the
Tiger's
Vegas
back.
line. Let me check the
Tiger's
Vegas
back.
line.
Oh, well, he had a good round today. This past ESPY Awards show, the past ESPY Awards show was very powerful with the survivors of the Larry Nassar abuse receiving the Arthur Ashe Courage Award for their strength and resolve for bringing to the light the tragedies of sexual abuse. The problem is that adults didn't listen to these girls when they felt they were being violated. We have to do a better job protecting our children. It's important to advocate to keep our children safe, strong, and free. When they talk, we need to listen. Goddess Kelli, what's happening in your world? What do you want the listeners to know?
Well, I've been taking a little bit of a sports hiatus aside from this show, so I've been getting into a lot of adventures and misadventures for the summer. You can follow me on social media at my name, which is KELLIERUTTAR on both Facebook and Twitter, and keep up with all of my going-ons.
Okay, you can check me out on Twitter at Cheryl Smith at First Lady of Sports. Please visit us at brawspantysports.com, where you'll find links for each of us, original episodes, and the Bearskin Lounge with Dizzy Mac. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Join us in demanding Congress honor the dignity of our fellow citizens from Puerto Rico and convene hearings into President Trump's humanitarian disaster. Remember, they are our fellow citizens. Remember, e pluribus unum. This is Cheryl Smith and the First Lady of Sports Talk. Excuse me, this is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk. Goddess Kelli and Spitface, you have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.